Good evening and thank you so much for joining us again on Capital Market. I'm Tempula Shaju. Let's begin the show. Top central banks across the world this week reached interest rate decisions for their respective regions. The U.S. Fed, for the third time this year, agreed to a hike in the federal funds rate by 25 basis points from 1.25% to 1.50%, while the People's Bank of China marginally raised the medium-term lending facility and reversed repo rates by 5 basis points. And following an increase by 25 basis points in the previous meeting, the Bank of England held rates at 0.50%, while the European Central Bank retained a flat position, that is 0.00%. Domestically, the NBS, that's the National Bureau of Statistics, released data for foreign trade, and that's for the third quarter of the year, in which Nigeria turned over a trade surplus for the third consecutive quarter. The report showed total trade for the third quarter at 5.9 trillion naira, implying a 23.9% year-on-year improvement from 4.8 trillion naira in the corresponding period of Q3 2016. For the third quarter, the same period, trade surplus of 1.2 trillion naira was recorded, and that is 3.5 trillion naira in exports versus 2.3 trillion naira in imports, in stark contrast to a trade deficit of 135.9 billion naira in exports versus 2.5 seen in the past period, that's the base year 2016. Now, analysts dissected this report and attributes the jump in exports to the improved global oil prices and domestic production in the said period. Now, let's take a look at some of the stories that we had this week and see how we can digest them again. A very important story, it's the experience that the Nigerian Stock Exchange had with the governor of Ogun State this week, and that was on Thursday. The governor, we had a chat with him when he came to close the market, and he talked to us about how his visit to the Stock Exchange is going to be helping to realize a kind of partnership with the state in the area of healthcare, agriculture, and infrastructure. Let's listen.
I want to look at those offerings. We know what Stock Exchange does. We know what they do. And that's why I'm here, to see what is possible. It is not that I'm here to say, yes, I want to probably go for bond or do this or do that. But even it was a pleasant surprise getting here, because I now found out that there are even so many other things aside from maybe just coming here to say, I want to raise bond, I want to raise money. No, not just that. But clearly what I've said is this: Ogun State is now on the right path. We can conveniently come and say, well, we want to raise some fund, because people will believe in us. Our performance, when you look at the numbers, our GRN, I mean, you know what I'm saying, it's perfect for such things to happen. But as we are now, where we found ourselves, we are still okay. But we know that this is now the time that we should now begin to look into going to the capital market for fund, long-term fund, because the era of borrowing short and spending long is over. Yes, we find ourselves in that position because nobody wants to touch us with the longest of poles. Even on a monthly basis, all your IGR is about 700 million. And you have, that time, they have about, I think, salaries of about 3-point-something billion. Now we have salaries of about 9 billion. So we know that if we generate about 7 billion, we get some patry 1-point-something from federal government. We are still almost there. Now we are pushing that by the time we get to 9, then we can go to capital market and raise fund. Because there's the obligation that goes with raising fund. Don't just raise fund. Those are other people's money that you must use well. And nobody will give you their money if they will look at the numbers. If the number doesn't add up, nobody will give you the money. Now we believe that our numbers are now adding up. And now we can come to the capital markets. I'm laying the foundation for people that will come after me, really. I have just 1 year to go. I'm not looking at coming to raise any fund here now, no. But of course, looking at the possibilities. And clearly, there are so many. I've been told that they even do capital, human development capacity building. Here, I didn't know. They offer those ones. Clearly, we are going to grab that with both hands. I've further been told that our SMEs, micro, medium, small-scale enterprises, they will support them. Oh, yes, we want them to support us. They've even told us there are some areas where they can help. In the area of building, housing, and all of that. So we can, yes. So those are areas where we said that, oh, why not? You can, as against maybe coming here to say, oh, I want to take this bond. No, that's not why we're here. We're here for other things, to see several possibilities that are bound here. And they've said that they will help us to do some things and to bring out all these inherent possibilities and capacities that we have. They're going to exhume it, quote and unquote. And I'm happy with what I've seen, and we are grateful and thankful to all of them, from the president to the CEO, to the council members, to the management and staff, and the dealers, and even all of those who that make the market tick. So we have laid our card face up. We told them areas where they can invest. We are now the industrial capital of Nigeria, for crying out loud. All those companies, there are no companies that are here in Nigeria that are not listed here. They're all listed on the capital market here. So, yes, they are in Ogun State, thriving, doing their businesses. And I told them that, yes, I'm happy with what they're doing. But please, they should probably be more visible in Ogun State. They're there, all those companies are there. But those key, and this is without taking anything away from those, the maybe middle management and lower cadre, all of them live in Ogun State. But those top shots, top notch, we want them to live as well here in Ogun State. So they will not come unless we create the enabling environment for them. And that's why we're here. So we're going to do all of those. Now we are looking at, okay, let's look at 10, 12 billion. As we speak, World Bank is supporting us with about $350 million. Mind you, that's over a period of maybe 5 whatever years or even 8 years. They're giving maybe 20%, maybe whatever percent from it. A lot of people like that, they are supporting us. Don't forget that, yes, however small it may look, it may appear, we are still expecting some money from the federal allocation. So when you add all of those together, it's like it's a balanced budget, really, because our expectation that we know where we're going. This is not a time for speculation, no. But what we are doing, we are creating an enabling environment for whoever is going to come after us to be a superstar, really, and it will be my pride. Because when you come in, you don't need to think about, how do I pay salary? It's not a portion anymore. You see people who know they cannot pay salary. You know, I mean, governors are endangered species now. Everybody talks anything. Governor, hey, they've spread the bailout, Paris Club, Kidicon Club. Fortunately, hey, I don't know any governor that would not want to pay salaries, clearly. But there are no magicians. They can't give what they know what they don't have. Yes, it's so easy for one to surrender when you are overwhelmed. Imagine now I have a wage bill of about 9.2 to pay monthly, 9.2, 9.3. If I don't have the IGR to support the party that comes from the federal government, how do I cope? If I have a wage bill of about 9 billion and all that I get from federal government is 1 billion, clearly I will surrender. I'll be overwhelmed. But my people are still complaining. You have not given us a leave bonus. I laugh. I say, we leave bonus. Where people are paying maybe half salary or 24 months, they can't pay. This is without taking anything away from my brother governors. Everybody's working around the clock. But what can you do? Can you turn yourself to money? No.